Hydrofield cuts through my neighborhood.
Do you love margarine and polystyrene foam? Move over, Twinkie. This may outlast you in the apocalyptic times. You can rely on old meat butter for your end times. Meat butter. Not to be confused with ham that comes in a can. The best hams don't come in a can, and you need a plan in the apocalyptic times. That's where meat butter shines. Try meat butter from the makers of Spam. Your dog will thank you. Or will they?
Meat butter. Meat butter is not for human consumption or animal consumption. Please do not, by any means, feed meat butter to anyone you know or ever will know. Meat butter is very harmful, toxic, and will cause death. Not responsible.
I thank you. My Leo thanks you. My Lucky thanks you.
Thank you.
My Skylar thanks you. My Bonkers thanks you. My kitty cat thanks you. Everett thanks you. Sweetie thanks you. Peaches thanks you. Everybody thanks you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fearlessly Authentic. I'm your host, Lucky.
What's up, Baritonians?
And there's Steve.
Happy Sunday.
And Elle will be joining us any moment.
Theoretically.
Who we got in here? Who's here with us?
Looks like a bunch of beautiful Baritonians. Oh.
I don't know why this thing looks so weird. Why does it look so weird? Okay, that's so big. There we go. That one.
Who is the producer anyway? I don't know what is going on this.
The producer is trying to sleep.
Producer is sound asleep right now. Quiet. Everybody's got his eyes closed. He's fully fluffed out. Drizzle.
If you wanna see a picture of the producer, I have one. Oh, that's a little one. That's not what I was thinking. Where is it? Okay, here we go. There he is. Sitting on me. Yeah, he's tired right now.
Very tired.
He is. He's very, very tired.
Tired.
He's like,
Lady Alex said, I used to be a producer, but I don't have any good eggs left anymore.
oh my gosh.
It's funny.
Yeah, so we took our producer out today for a walk with Leo, and he got tuckered out from all that excitement. And we were up until like the wee hours of the morning. So, Kanky, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, some people kept us up all fucking night, talking and yapping and yapping. It's bound to happen.
Hello,
Inevitable,
Kate.
really.
I'm interested to learn about Dr. Richard Florida today, too. Very interested to learn about him. John Kemper, how is sunshine?
Yeah, Drew, send me your address so I can send it to Lady Alex. And I will. La la. Hey, that sounds like a bloop.
Yes, Steve.
Thank you. Could you send
There we go. Elle, are you there?
more?
Yes, of course.
There she is.
I didn't realize I was so late. I apologize. I was looking at bank CEOs talking, so it wasn't fun. A fun delay. Trying to figure out the timestamps for later, which is going to be sooner than I expected. So I was focused on things that were coming up later instead of sooner, and that's what you get.
Yeah.
That is what you get.
So I'm trying to find this fucking exchange that I saw on Twitter on one of these accounts from a CEO about the revolving door, that whole clip. So do pardon me. Love you guys. Hello. Fuck it, I tried.
That's the picture you took in your area, right?
Yes, and I'm still trying. But then again, aren't we all?
Yeah.
We is.
I mean, I hope people are trying.
Me too.
All right.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
I will not have that clip for you right now. So, yeah, I'm ready to start the show because that's going to take a minute for me to find.
All right.
A lot of minutes. So we might even not get to it, and then I'll probably just cover that on my podcast with that clip because I can't find it. And I've worked on so many other things that are pertinent as well. I mean, we all know there's a revolving door. It's like not news to show them laughing at the whole situation. It's just very.
Oh yeah, I saw that clip. I know what your clip you're talking about too. I saw that.
Yeah, I was trying to find it, but it's 6 hours. So excuse me if I can't find it on the first go. Like, it's not going to happen. I have to sift through 6 hours of bullshit. 6.5. 6:55 to be exact, but it's not really that much because they have breaks, I'm pretty sure. So it's like 5, 4, I don't know, but it's long.
Wow. Yeah, somebody had clipped that. They had that clip. It was up
That's
on
why
Twitter.
I'm trying to find it. Yeah, and I had responded to it and thought that I had responded with the right link, but I had not. So I just deleted it.
Lady Alex, I just sent you Drew's address.
I would love that to be out of context, so people are like, "Why?"
No, I think it's better if we're just innocuous. We just say things, and then people can wonder.
Exactly.
So Rumble is up and going. I'm checking Odyssey right now. Make sure everything is flowing.
It should be.
I don't even know where to start here. We could start local. I could tell you what's going on with the mask mandate situation. Very quickly, that the public transit system in LA has seen reason and has decided not to continue the mask mandates on the buses and the trains and the airport, which they haven't really been enforcing anyway. And people have been just doing what they want this last few months anyway. So it's basically non-compliance breeds freedom because they can't do anything to you. So they realize that and they're like, all right, well, and then they blame it on these other factors and then say, oh yeah, all the hospitalizations are going down and stuff. That's partly because testing has not been happening at the same level as before, because the testing has been taken away as an option in many areas because, as the president said, the pandemic is over allegedly. So we'll get to that later. But now that he said that, a lot of things seem to be happening to kind of support that statement, even though the media, mass media, and the mainstream idiots in power are trying to present it a different way. That it's still a dangerous thing and people should be scared. And then they should be scared of some other things as well. Just keep being scared.
Yeah. They always want you scared. They want you scared of the next thing, the next greatest threat that may or may not come to light.
I'm not sure, Kinky, that all Americans understand that. But
what?
That anything Joe Biden says is more likely the opposite.
Well, sometimes he says shit he's not supposed to say that's actually kind of 100% almost true. So then they have to back up and be like, no, he didn't mean it.
It's tricky,
Yeah, they did that on purpose, though. I think that part of that created that confusion so that people can latch on to whatever belief it is that they want to have.
Exactly.
And then they can have it as a divisive
You gotta have
thing.
options, am I right?
Then it's like, no, he said this. Well, no, he didn't really mean that. And then people are arguing over whether or not it's true or not because they've created this confusion that's happened.
I'm wishful thinking.
Which is the whole point, yes.
But yes, that's why they do it. Just
mass delusion, mass confusion.
Provide, some sort of seeming semblance to the fucking nonsensical things that come out of that man's mouth. That's a full-time job in itself, just trying to, spin that narrative every single time he fucking says something. It's kind of like the same scramble that Trump had in office, except Trump, all the other people were working against him as well. They were just like, everybody in the media is just like, he's the fucking orange crazy man. He's going to kill the fucking universe.
Show as well, because he was playing a part. They're all playing parts, and people
fully, absolutely. I don't mean that those things are like real.
No, I'm substantive. Just, it's an addendum. It's not a criticism.
Yes.
It's an agreement and an addendum to what you're saying, because there's always a maneuver that they're having to do in the media to have you hate this person or hate that person. And it doesn't even matter who the person is, because as we've said before, Hillary Clinton used to be that person. So it goes back and forth. It goes every which way.
Yep. Whatever way is useful. Whatever the narrative.
And they play their part perfectly. Like Trump did with Gavi, which I've shown, where he promoted Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. Mm-hmm. And he did everything that he was supposed to do, Operation Warp Speed, and then people are still thinking about voting for him again because they have no other choice. They think because they're given no other choice.
My choice is to not participate in a system where they're going to use and rig whatever, you know what I mean? You can vote for the freaking Papa Smurf if you want. It doesn't matter. They're going to manipulate that vote into being how they want it to be and how they want it to reflect. They're going to use it. They're going to manipulate it whatever way that they want it to. It's just that whoever is the better cheater. That's it. I mean,
yes, OMG, yes. I agree. Sorry, the chat was going off on orchestral maneuvers in the dark, which I was thinking about when I said it too. So in my brain, you are in there.
I see that chat
That's
work.
Yoda, I know, but I'd never really seen this franchise. The first part of it, just the last shitty part, and then the other not so shitty part of the Star Wars franchise. I never watched that Jedi one, The Last Jedi. Nope, couldn't pay me to watch that one. But I did see The Force
Do you-
Awakens. I did
Do you
see
know
that.
about the Ewoks?
No, I know about the Ewoks. I know more about them than I should, considering I don't know as much about the originality of it, the original, the original movie. Yes, Alex, we do. 'Tis true. But yeah, like this is something that the person that I used to do my podcast with and I agreed on a lot was that the Trump role was a role to be played, and he was being set upon for a reason by the media, by the FBI in this case. Like he's that guy. He's playing that part. He's the heel, as he would say, and
Yep. He's a shill. He's the heel. He's the fucking
yeah,
he's the bad guy.
he again, going back to even 9/11.
Well, he's the hero for some.
Oh yeah.
When he was
Inevitably.
talking on 9/11, when he was talking about, hey, I might be president someday or whatever. Ha, ha, ha. Well, no, he was like, I might run. They're like, oh, you're thinking about running for president? And he's like, yeah, but I haven't yet. And then he also was saying stuff about the explosions, witnesses, who worked for at his building or whatever. And he was just talking about all this stuff that eventually would be talked about again. And then he said, never forget, which he may have fucking originated on that day. I don't know exactly. I can't say. But he did say, we'll never forget this day. And yeah, that ended up being true. But whether or not he had any inside knowledge, he did acknowledge that Larry Silverstein had just bought the building and all this shit. So he threw some shit out there and people kind of ran with it later. So it's interesting how things get into your head in the first place from the mainstream media. And then the mainstream media is like, no, but that doesn't happen. That didn't happen. Shut up.
Memory hold that.
Don't forget about the mask thing with the Fauci saying that we didn't. Forget about it. I
can't even imagine for a moment, just your average, American citizen that's still really plugged into the MSM and the watching the TV and all the things that people do that obliterate their sense of what's actually going on and questioning stuff. They're just mind-numbingly on repeat and in that loop. If they stumbled into this chat during this discussion, people's brain would just break. They'd be like, all you people are conspiracy crazy people, and you know what I mean? It'd be overwhelming.
Yeah.
To approach it from there. Even just where I was 2 years ago to where I am now is just that would just rip somebody's fucking head off. They're like, how do you even fucking, what the fuck? It's just
it's all by
it's
design.
overwhelming. It gets on top of you after a while too, just the deceit and the fucking bullshit that you just easily pick apart, and the narrative fucking sway and manipulation of thought, you're just pointing out, all of those things fully at play constantly every day within the news cycle. And if you stay plugged into that, you haven't a fucking chance of ever knowing anything factual or all the facts about a certain specific topic.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. Little said something like, I imagine a normie fucking stumbled into this chat. No shit. That would be rough. Poor guy or gal.
Yeah, and like Angela said, conspiracy theories equals spoiler alerts these days. Yeah. Yeah.
True.
It's really a really intense place to be. It's an intense place to be at the front of information.
It's way different than just being a regular consumer of information.
Oops.
Someone who reads periodicals and tries to stay current that way and stuff. All of that fucking narrative management that goes into every single fucking thing that you read, and all the biases that are built in, and It's crazy how much mind manipulation and just, outright mind control, for lack of a better term, is in place.
It's true.
Speaking
You don't see it until you step outside of it for a second. Then you can't unsee it.
Speaking of mind control, I have a topic that I just remembered. That
Ding.
WEF. I have a WEF update.
World Economic Forum. Anybody that doesn't know, but
This is
most
where
people I
cue the-
think here do.
the
But you never
fucking-
know when people might listen to it later on that might not know what we're talking about. If they did stumble into this stream.
Yeah.
Thing that says 9.
Last week, up
Weird.
until the 23rd, there was a meeting being held by the WEF, and it was on sustainable development. So sustainable development impact meetings started on the 19th until the 23rd. So it was a little meeting, but it was still, important. And they talked about all kinds of shit that, UN wants them to talk about, because they are in league with the UN, as we all know. They're all connected at this point. I think that's clear to see. So, did you see it in the private chat, or should I just share it?
And yeah, I got, what the hell is this? I got a 60 Minutes thing.
Oh yeah, that's for the chat, because in case they missed the pandemic is over remark, that's where it is.
Oh, so
They can
don't.
watch the whole shitty thing if they want.
So not
I
that
like to
thing.
give them that option. No, we don't have to go over that because it's old news, and also, we can bring it up later. Is what I was gonna say. It's like I think CBS probably wouldn't like us to do it on YouTube, but I don't know how lascivious, how copyright trigger happy they are.
I'm not sure.
But we could do them later because they do talk about COVID a little bit, which would be nice to talk about Odyssey and Rumble there. So anyway, this is one of the meetings, High Ambition Coalition Treaty on Plastic Pollution. I watched this whole thing at one point. I think I was exercising during it, but it was a long one. It was like 20-something minutes. But these are just people talking about how to not have plastic anymore. What's funny is that we're told like all these things are bad, but who gave us these things? And then the corporations, I should say, hold on. The corporations are saying, well, we can fix it. But who gave it to us in the first place? The corporation.
Yeah, and who's continued it knowing that it was awful for us.
And
It's not like they're
also
like, oh, we just found out last week. It's really bad for you.
Like, what do you mean smoking's
the
bad
cigarette
for you?
thing. Yeah, exactly. The cigarettes. I was gonna say, like, oh shit, cigarettes are bad. Yeah,
Oh,
no shit,
hell,
we
it turns
found
out
that.
40 years
Okay.
later. Oh, shit. Really?
That causes
Dang.
cancer too, because everything
bad.
causes cancer now.
Oops, sorry about that. We're
Here's
going to
a
offer
patch.
some cigarette alternatives. Have you heard of vaping?
Have you heard of patches?
Have you
Here's
heard of
some
patches?
nicotine. Have
Nicotine
some more
gum.
nicotine.
Oh, but
You
then
know
we
you
have
need
we have a pill for that. Don't
Because
worry.
ultimately, that's what it is, right? We have
And then that gets recalled.
we have
Chances.
nicotine being refined, in giant vats that we have to sell. So, here we
And-
are again at the chemical companies own everything and sell
but then
everything.
the big chemical company goes along with big tobacco, and the big chemical company
It's the
sprays the
same
things for the big tobacco, and then
it's a diversified company. It's all the same.
It's
Yeah.
one big family, one big
One
happy
big happy
family.
corporate mind fuck.
yeah.
It's a conspiracy with family.
Yeah. So
So
you
it
can
can't
trust
be
it.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it couldn't be bad.
Oh, back to
It's like-
Sprouts for a second. Alex mentioned Sprouts a long time ago, and I wanted to say I went to Sprouts last night, and
I don't
there
know
were
what
some
Sprouts
people
is.
in- It's
a
the market that I go
health
to. It's
store.
my favorite store. And yeah, there were some people with masks on, but it wasn't like super crazy. And also the masked people are not delusional anymore and like telling you what to do, which is good because they can't, because it's not a mandate anymore. So they don't get to do that. But even if they could, I don't think they would, because they've been over it for a long time. So they kind of get where it's coming from, and like don't want to do it themselves, but can't realize what happened. It's like some of them are so traumatized by the whole event, the whole scan, that they're like, well, I need this. This is all I have now.
What I'm seeing a lot is with the masks is that people are like, I'm immune compromised, so I need it. And I'm like, I'm immune compromised and I don't need it. You know what I mean? Like I'm feeling the opposite because I don't want to breathe in all your plastic. And all that stuff. So like people think that they're holding on to it as like a safety net of like, you know, I'm immune compromised, so I need to wear the mask. But in my personal opinion, it's the opposite. But you know, I can't, like, although I want to tell everybody, you know what I mean, like that's really not healthy for you and you're breathing in plastic. Like, I don't have that in me to tell people like all the time, random people that I don't know.
There was a part of this meeting that I wanted to focus on. I'm trying to find it. I guess we could find some random part of it and just like listen to them talk about us. That's always fun. 1852. Just random 1852. Let's see what they say about us. They love to talk about us in front of us.
I got 1850.
I don't know why, but 1850 something.
Fertilizers that we have used on our different agriculture activities, washed by the rain, because the water cannot penetrate. Mm-hmm. So, and we decide to ban plastic carry bags. Mm. And you had to see, after we cleaned all the plastic waste from the nature, you had even to see how the tourism industry has boomed. Mm. We have seen a flow of tourists coming to Rwanda. Mm. Because Rwanda, we have no winter. We have the average temperature in our country is 21 degrees annually. And you can see that itself has attracted people to come to Rwanda because it is safe, mm-hmm. It is clean, the air quality is clean, is livable. So we have seen the flow of tourists.
It's clean, it's livable.
Even to appreciate the cleanliness of the country throughout the country, not only in the city of Kigali, but inside the country. You can't see people littering. You can't see, plastic waste on the street. But you can see plastic littering on the border of our country with other countries. Mm-hmm. As I said, it's a transnational, crisis we have to fight. Right. But those are the experience I want to share with you. When a country has no littering, has no plastic pollution, you don't have even a lot of, carbon emission. Because when you avoid plastic pollution, there is emission you are avoiding. Mm-hmm. So heat wave also is reduced on your side. Yeah, those are the experience I want to share with you.
And if I may just add that Rwanda has inspired other African countries, because I think now there's more than 20 African countries that have banned or made some kind of ban on single-use plastics, and you can actually see it. So if you walk around in Kigali, it's a different experience from walking in New York. It won't take me many seconds when I go up to the door before I find plastic waste, but you will not in Jeanne d'Arc's home country, and that's because of politics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but you will find poverty.
Transnational issue. So I have to ask, the U.S. is the largest producer of plastic waste
in both areas.
High Ambition Coalition.
So the US is not a member of the coalition, but the US was very actively present, very supportive as we moved towards the agreement in Nairobi. I spoke to Assistant Secretary Monica Medina, who's in charge of these issues in the US government yesterday and many times before, but at last was yesterday, and she reiterated her strong commitment to an agreement. And then, of course, in the US, there's parts of the US politics are less enthusiastic about international treaties than Rwanda and Norway are. So we might have to, they have not joined our particular coalition, but it should not be understood as a lack of interest from the US government, because I think that commitment to helping to get a good outcome, I think is very solid and strong. But there are issues about what that instrument will be, which has to do with certain attitudes to international regulation, which still dominates the U.S. discourse.
It is even an opportunity for New York to push joining the treaty, because when
very welcome. Yes. Indeed.
Yeah, when I arrived here, I was so astonished to see.
How did you arrive
how
there?
much plastic was on the road. For me, I was just like a dream. Am I dreaming? Am I in the US? So, but as Minister Bart is saying, we have to run from each other. That's why the coalition is there, to get experiences, to get insight from each and every minister, each and every member of the coalition. Technical coalition is there also. So we will run from others. Yeah.
Well,
and I mean, in this country, it's not only this country, but this country, we quite often you're exposed to, you have a breakfast in a hotel, and it's actually served on a plastic plate with plastic spoons and forks and plastic cups. That's simply not necessary. It's relatively easy to have cutlery that you can wash and use again, and this is an example of a relatively easy transition to a less plastic intensive economy.
So you can see even here this.
I think we all learned a lot.
World Economic Forum has glass. So, yeah.
That's close.
Yes.
Well, you all are working on a ambitious timeline. The
That's
goal
it.
is to
That's
get
enough.
this treaty done by
Enough.
2024.
I want to watch
correct?
the rest.
So I guess where do you
But yeah, Klaus cares. Remember, that's the thing to take away. He really cares. That's why he stole Richard's idea, allegedly. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Like, let's take that in. Like, oh my god.
That was like really weird. Like it was really like, it didn't feel like they were actually having like a real conversation. It was,
No. It's like
it felt like something like, it was like adult Sesame Street. It was like really just like, yeah. Like a bunch of filler, like, it was weird. Yeah, like we can wash regular silverware. Like really no fucking shit. Like
I have never thought of that before. I have so many plastic plates. I'm gonna throw them all away now because I feel so bad. Wait, where do I throw them away? See, that's I need answers. Damn it. I need to know what to do with them. Damn it. Can I reuse them? I don't know. This is a joke. I don't even have plastic plates. I'm just saying a thing. But that people like come to think, like, what do you do with the plastic? And then you put it in the recycling, and guess what? That recycling does not go to recycling. Like, just FYI.
Yeah, no,
like,
I found out a lot of
don't do
our
that.
recycling, like, because
They
in
go to
Connecticut,
China.
you have to recycle. And I found out that a lot of our recycling in our town, that most of it goes to the incinerator. Like a lot of it, even if we recycle, even if we perfectly, you know what I mean? We are sorting things out perfectly. A lot of it will go right to the incinerator. It's like, that's really not good. It's really not good.
You can't ban shit until you replace it with something else. Just like you can't get a good job or any job unless you have a job before you get the job, because you don't know if you're going to get the job. So if you don't know if you can have a non-plastic shit and make it work because you're stupid, because civilizations way before you could do it, but you can't for some reason, then you can't ban that shit, because like that's just going to put everybody in a shitstorm. It's just not good. They're banning here in locally. They're banning nuclear, not nuclear. Sorry, they're banning natural gas, which is ironic. Which is funny because not ironic, but they do have an issue with the natural gas that people probably would ignore on the other side of the issue. And they would be like, oh, it's like woke California being woke California or whatever. Yeah, in so much it is that, but also it is also the reasoning for it is that, but the reason for it should be that there have been methane leaks all over the fucking place that have ruined people's communities in our city. So it is a problem, the natural gas, and I don't even have it anymore. Haven't had it for years, many years, because SoCalGas fucked everything up and had so many leaks and put everybody at risk. And it's just not good. But the other thing is, like, you're trying to go to electric on everything, but your grid is so fucking vulnerable that a heat wave, like 100 degrees or whatever, which is nothing in Arizona and nothing in like Las Vegas or Nevada, you know, that's going to fuck everything up. But you want everybody to drive electric cars and you want everybody to use electric stoves and stuff. It's like, how does that make sense? Because like you're switching over to something, but then you're pretending like you can't switch over to something because then you have to turn it off.
Like we're gonna eliminate something, but not give you the alternative to this something.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they haven't replaced the thing that they're banning, and then they go and ban it, and then everybody's fucked, and then the grid's fucked, which I think is not even like that it can't control, that it can't support the system. I think it's more that they're the ones fucking up the grid, not, and then blaming us for it. I think that's what it is.
I want to ask SF Thomas real quick. He said that YouTube surveyed him for the stream. So what was it? So YouTube took away 2,000 likes on one of my videos yesterday that I got. The one that had
views.
2,000 views on a stream on one of the shorts that I got. I had 15,000 views on it, and they took away 2,000, and it wasn't even up there for 24 hours. And I tagged them on Twitter about it, and I was like, "Wow, why are you taking away views on?" And they're like, and they said, you know, they correct it. You know, they correct when there's. I don't even know what the phrasing of what they said. It was so stupid. I'm like, so you just take away people's views on their streams? 2,000? Really? That's normal for you? And then they responded to me, and then I called them out for, you know, and the fact, and I pointed out the fact that they, you know, unsubscribe my family and my friends from my stream also. Like, they're just, you know, they're like, yeah.
I think they don't like you.
I don't think they like me. So I'm curious as to they surveyed you about this stream. I'm wondering because I'm starting problems. Okay, Peaches. I know. Papa got you all worked up. Say I was sleeping.
He's very upset about the situation.
Yeah,
he's mad at you.
YouTube's bullshit.
He's mad at you, Susan.
That's right, Susan.
You're mad at
He's like, yeah. Yeah, well, they're messing with his videos. It's one of Peach's videos.
Yeah, Peaches, tell him. Don't take that shit. Say, I see you.
He has a personal vendetta against YouTube.
He's got a personal stake in it now. He's got skin in the game.
He's like, I got my feathers in this game of YouTube. Don't take my views away. Huh, Peaches? Tell him. Say it's all right. It went up to like 14,000 views. Like after I said something, like people because people were watching the short. It's like really, that's normal for you guys to just take away 2,000 views off of people's streams and
Watch
stuff?
out, you'll get the bird fired up again.
It's ridiculous. It makes me so mad.
Bird is so sick of this shit. Oh, Peaches.
Well, Pet Sounds.
Great album.
I read Pesh sounds, and I said pet sounds. Pesh sounds like a falcon, and I said pet sounds in my head, and then outside.
Peaches don't sound like a falcon. I've seen it. I've heard it. I mean,
he's tired.
Do an album with all your pet sounds.
Also,
actual pet sounds.
Actually, a great Beach Boys record.
Actual pet sounds, though. Like, get on it. If I had pets, I would do pet sounds.
All right. Fair enough.
Go squeeze
in
the
recession news.
Somebody squeeze the kitty. Make the dog yelp.
Don't get him going, Steve.
We don't want the Humane Society at our door. If they care.
See, you woke him up. He's like, why do you keep waking me up, Papa? I tell him I didn't do it. I didn't get up and wake you up. He did.
Well, we averted a rail shutdown in the U.S., but sadly, it is not to be in the UK with the RMT. If you scroll down, you'll see what happened here. There was a strike, a major strike, 40,000 workers threatening to leave. Let's see how that went.
They will work for peanuts.
They will work for peanuts.
That's
literally.
It ain't looking good.
But not those guys. The burbs will work for peanuts.
The burbs will work for peanuts.
Not the rail workers.
Not the rail workers. No.
The rail union, RMT. Huh?
I said, can you blame them? Really? That's what they're trying to do. Trying to get them to work for peanuts.
Rail union RMT has announced that railway workers will walk out across the country on October 8th in the oncoming fight over jobs. I made it English because it's English. Pay and working conditions. Over 40,000 RMT members from Network Rail and 15 train operating companies will take to picket lines, effectively shutting down the railway network. RMT General Secretary Mick Lynch said that it was encouraging that the new Transport Secretary Anne-Marie Trevelyan, MP, had met with the union. We welcome this more positive approach from the government to engage with us as a first step to finding a suitable settlement. However, as no new offer has been tabled, our members have no choice but to continue the strike action. We will continue to negotiate in good faith, but the employers and government need to understand our industrial campaign will continue for as long as it takes, he said. End. That's the end of the press release. It just says end. Like, here you go. Leave us alone.
So, I'm hearing that this has not been averted, though. This is still.
No, what I said was the rail shutdown in the U.S. was averted. This isn't the U.K. Yeah. It's a different story.
Okay. But I think that did they vote though on this one?
Well, the latest news is Mick Lynch, that same person, describes the first meeting with Transport Secretary as positive. This is from AOL. Yeah, they're still around. How about that?
Oh my gosh, you've got mail.
No. Thanks, Internet. Let me send you that link, and then I'll get that link and put it in the chat.
So this is the UK one here, you said, right?
That's what I said, yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure. So this is the UK one, and then the one you're sending me is for the
the UK as well, but it's what's going on there with the union representative, what they say, their response to the meeting. All right, and then this one, where's this one? There he is. AOL. Damn it. So much to do.
I can't believe they're still around.
Okay, AOL says, okay, RMT's Mick Lynch, who was just talking in that press release. This is a few days later. This is on, what day is this? This is on the 25th. So this is today. So this is the news from today. Brand new news.
Okay, so these are the
RMT
strikes that are
Secretary.
planned right here.
Correct.
It's coming up then. Okay.
Yes, this is all coming up in October. So this is pre-planning and like planting this supply chain issue for people in that area. Okay, so RMT General Secretary Mick Lynch has described his first meeting with new Transport Tech Secretary Anne Marie Trevelyan as a good meeting with a positive attitude. Rail strikes are planned for October 4th, 5th, and 8th, threatening travel chaos for passengers, just days after stepping into her new role. How interesting this! Literally days after she's stepping into that role, she's facing this problem. Ms. Trevelyan met Mr. Lynch. Speaking to Sophie Ridge on Sky News on Sunday, Mr. Lynch said that it was a good meeting. What we need to see from the new Secretary of State is the ability to unblock the problems in the dispute, he said. Her predecessor, I don't know how to say that, so I said it that way, seemed to be putting obstacles in the way of everyone, including the employers, by shackling them to a mandate that was impossible to deliver. They were putting down issues that we could never accept, and the other trade unions could never accept. So I've asked the new Secretary of State that it was a good meeting with positive attitude and a bit of goodwill to try and unfold this situation. And then he said, we need to get the thing out of a deep freeze. Shit. I went too far. Okay. And get it on the table so we can work through the problem. He asked that Ms. Trevelyan's willingness to meet and shake hands was the better way to... He added that was the better way to conduct business. If somebody wants to meet you and shake your hand, that's a positive start. He said, it's the better way to conduct a business than just slagging each other off, and that's not what I'm into, and I hope that she's not either. However, Mr. Lynch was critical of the government, as he should be, describing the tightening of strike laws as an attack on civil liberties and human rights. It comes after Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng put himself on a collision course with trade unions by announcing plans to legislate to require them to put pay offers from employers to a vote of members, and a wave of industrial action by hundreds of thousands of workers. He told the Commons on Friday that it is unacceptable that strike action is causing so much disruption. He added that other European countries had minimum service levels to stop militant trade unions closing down transport systems. Mr. Lynch said that reforms would make it impossible for trade unions to exist in the UK. Well, they're not just strike laws, they're an attack on civil liberties and human rights. I love how they keep saying what he's going to say later, and then he says it. It's like, okay, are we trying to meet a word minimum, like minimum amount of words? Is this like an essay? I don't know. Okay, so they've tried to make it impossible for trade unions to exist in this country, and they're trying to make it impossible, in fact, for the people of this country to campaign against poverty, which is what many of them were changing. If there is no trade union freedom and it's impossible to conduct rules and industrial action, people will have to go in other ways, and they will have to think of other means of doing it. He added that the government say they want to cut red tape, but are subjecting the trade unions to more stringent regulation. They're trying to regulate unions, and they've said that they're going to cut red tape. The only people that are going to be subject to stringent regulation are the trade unions, and they want to regulate the relationship between the union and its members. That's not acceptable. People will always regret further oppression of trade union rights because we won't be able to protest. We've got a new police bill that's going to stop us protesting on streets, and we're going to have a new set of trade union laws that attempt to stop us having a balanced equation in the workplace, and that's not acceptable. So he's still angry.
So, also what's happening, which is really crazy, Steve brought this up. So over in Paris right now, the largest wholesale fresh produce market in the world is on fire in Paris.
The second largest.
So they're doing all of this in Europe.
Well, it says the largest fresh produce market in the world is on fire in Paris. Is what that's what Disclosed TV is calling it.
Yep.
The world's largest produce market. They're not saying second largest.
I'm sure it's up
but
there.
Then others are
it's
saying
huge.
Second largest.
It's a giant fucking market, and that show is burning in the broad daylight, like fucking huge.
Yeah,
they can burn whatever they want. They can
they
do
can.
whatever they want.
They are.
And then they can say you're a conspiracy theorist because you suggest that they did it.
Your conspiracy.
Why would we ever do that?
That the supply chains are being fucked with in any way. You know, like that's just a conspiracy. This is just another coincidence that a food fucking providing place is just catching on fire.
We don't have to theorize. It's right in our face.
Yeah, it's just even theory aside, it's just weird, isn't it? I think we all can agree that it's just weird how often, food purveyors, buildings and warehouses and things are catching on fire, just like spontaneous planes flying into them and just all kinds of fucking funky shit. I think at least we can agree that that's a reality. That's actually happening. It's stunning how many too now. Like 2 months ago, it was like 110 or something. Now there's got to be like fucking dozens more.
Yeah, just for a quick reference as to what Steve is talking about here. This is what.
Do we have the actual source for that?
There's a bunch of sources. It's on Disclosed TV. It's on Newsbreak. It's on all of these different. Yeah. It's video after video after video.
I would want to see what Parisians would say about it, though.
Yeah.
What? Who is saying?
What they're saying in Paris about it? I'm sure there's local news coverage because the building is on fire.
Yeah. So
in the broad daylight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I'm scrolling down, it's showing me every westernjournal.com. It's on newsbreak.com. It's
pretty much.
I believe it happened. I just don't know what
tvpworld.com. I mean, it's everywhere.
If they had a story for it, if they had the narrative figured out for it, I would want to see that from the original, the source of the fire, which would be the
we love Trump.com has it.
There was a ton.
I didn't even know that was
There were other sources even before this broke on any of the news networks that people just like walking by. You know what I mean? Fucking camera footage of it.
Yeah, I just want to know what the narrative they're spinning is, because there's usually a narrative like, "Oh, don't worry, it's not this, it's that."
Yeah, it was just
nothing to do with this.
It was weird. We had a power surge, and the breaker tripped the thing, and Bob left a meatball sandwich in the microwave too long with aluminum foil. It was just a big mess.
Yeah, it's like Bloomberg's got it, Disclosed. Everybody's got this. This is crazy. I wasn't really on Twitter like this today, so I wasn't.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of worth mentioning anyway.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning. I mean, like, it's obviously something is burning. There's lots of video
and I'm
of
not
it.
Saying that I'm just saying I would want to see what their narrative is. That, like I said before, so
I wasn't gonna dive into.
I want to see what they're doing as a result of it. What is the name of this place again? I can't even remember. Something.
It's in Paris.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah, but what is it called? Ruda something. What is it? What is this called? How does it spell?
I don't know. Everyone just says it's just the Paris market that everyone's talking about.
It's called R something.
RUNGIS. RUNGIS. RUNGIS.
Yeah, rungus.
Okay, they got like people on the ground, the Parisian.
Yeah, it's an international market.
There's a documentary. Okay, so there's a documentary on this place from 2 years ago. I already found that. Episode 5, Giant Hubs. Giant Food Market. Rungi? I don't know how it's pronounced. Paris. And it's in English, thankfully. It says here in the description.
Yeah, I have an AP article on it right here, too.
Well, I'm just going to read like what they say about it from 2 years ago so we know what we're dealing with, like what they call it. Okay, so it's Giant Hubs. Rungi International Market is the world's largest wholesale market for fresh produce. Fish, meat, fruits, vegetables, cheese, and even fresh flowers are sold here every day in quantities so large an entire train station and highway exit has been built to serve it. I think that's pretty fucking huge.
It's fucking gigantic.
Just outside Paris, Rungi serves many Parisian restaurants or great standings. So now we know that it serves the local area. The market has distinguishing clients and only the freshest, highest quality products can hope to be sold. I'll put this in the link. Hold on. So we can look at it. So we can get a good view of what it looks like and all that jazz. All right, I put it there so we can look at it. And then I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, cheese and butter tend to fucking burn hot.
Yeah, this is the AP article right here.
Well, I just had a little more to say about what it is, and just one more paragraph, pretty much. Well, actually, there are a couple of paragraphs. Okay, each day more than 6,000 trucks, this is again 2 years ago, arrive at the Regime Market. 30,000 employees and customers flock through the overall 9 big halls on the 232-hectare area. It's a city of its own, they say here. The waste of the market is recycled. We know what that happens there. And the energy generated, spelled wrong, by the incinerator is used to heat up the market and even Orly Airport. And then 10 p.m. rush hour in Rougy begins at the A40, the biggest market hall for seafood in Europe. Wholesaler Pascal is specialized on high quality seafood from France. His goal is to sell all his products within the same day, blah, blah, blah. Supplies are checked, prices defined. You can find the most exotic creations here. When it happens to the fruit that cannot be sold, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's a documentary about the place. So it'll have like the space and you can see it as it stood, which I thought would be a really cool thing to see. So we have like that. And we now know that like it's a big fucking deal with that information.
Welcome, Sebs, to the Lucky Burritos. Happy Burritonian Sunday to you all. If I missed anybody earlier, we're talking about all kinds of fun stuff like burning, super conglomerate fucking produce supply chain headquarters. Yeah, I hope people were safe.
I'm also very skeptical.
It's a big place that like you would think that they would have. Yeah, you would think that there would be protocols to like putting out fires quickly in that sort of situation, fire suppression systems and all of that. So it's I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck they're going to say happened.
The cause of the blaze was unknown, but will be investigated. I am very hopeful for that investigation.
Yeah.
Well, it says here in the AP article that firefighters urge people to stay away from the area in Paris. Why would you want to be near it? 100 officers and 30 fire engines battled the blaze. And said no one was injured. The fire was brought under control, and there was no risk of it spreading to the soccer field-sized warehouse, covering an area of 7,000 square meters, 1.7 acres. The cause of the blaze unknown. The sprawling wholesale market is
unknown. Cause of the blaze.
Yeah, so like,
we don't know.
like the rail things are gonna go down, and then on top of it, this is happening. Like this.
I have a theory. Because they sell plants and stuff, and probably have like, bunnies, and if they have bunnies and stuff, they inevitably have straw. So there's probably like big piles of straw everywhere, through the whole thing, like a painting from the 16th century. You know how things are in Paris, right? I don't know. I just imagine a lot of straw, a match, perhaps somebody smoking carelessly, because I don't know. That's probably not true.
I have the video from AFP to kind of complement that article, ironically. Well, even though it's not the same source, but if we could look at that video, it's interesting. It's very huge. Damn. That's a big ass cloud.
Yes. Yeah, it I don't know, man. Looking at lots of different video of that, it looks fucking weird. Doesn't look like a...
I looked at it, I was like, wait a minute. I don't know. That's
hard to say.
Weird. I'm not going to start anything. It's probably been started. But if you look at it at 14 seconds, don't tell me that you think that's a real cloud.
I can't see that video.
Go ahead and look at 14 seconds.
I can't play that video in my country.
Oh. Well, I can. I'll do it.
Hang on, this one.
I got that. I'm in Bangkok, or Indonesia. I don't know where I am. I'm in Thailand. Let me go ahead.
Allegedly.
This one's working.
Oh, which one were you trying to play? Because I only wanted the cloud.
The first one.
Oh no, that was just for reference. I read it.
Yeah, that can't be played though for our country.
It can if you have a VPN in Thailand. I don't know.
Yep.
Wow. The VPN is in Thailand. You can. Zion.
Yep.
Well, ours isn't, so. All right, I can play this.
You can just switch it over to Thailand, I'm sure, anytime. Which one do you have? Not that we're promoting or anything.
All right.
Is it a popular one? There, I'll say that.
We cannot popularize VPNs. It goes against the contractual agreements.
The irony is
that's a lot of smoke.
It's a lot of fucking
14
smoke.
seconds. Go to 14 seconds because that's insane.
It's a lot.
Well, I played it from the beginning.
Yeah. Go back to 14 seconds and then focus on it. Really think like a movie. I mean, you have to think of like a movie. That doesn't look right. Am I crazy? That doesn't look right. Yeah. That specific one did not look right to me. I must be crazy because that did not look right. If you've seen a lot of CGI in a movie, you know what I'm talking about. That did not look like it was moving in the way that a natural thing would move. It moved as if it was placed there.
I don't know enough about fires and the way that the smoke
thing
moves.
Is it doesn't move. Like I feel like a fire would move and the other ones were moving more naturally. Am I crazy, chat? Just tell me I'm crazy. I don't care. But that specific time frame was interesting. Am I crazy, Steve?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the first time I saw that, or one that was, I think it was very close to that same picture, I was like, wow, that looks fucking funky. What the hell? Did something hit the front of that building? What is the deal? Like, why does that look like that? Stuff doesn't burn like that. Like the smoke is not behaving like it's supposed to. I don't know.
We live in the Matrix, you know.
Yeah, you know, they can manipulate every fucking bit of imagery that you see, like easily. So
I wonder if anyone in the comments were like, "What the fuck is that?" Because I'm telling you, it looks like it's, oh my gosh, going over the trees, but it's like not moving.
Yeah.
The way
Here's
it
a
should.
different. Here's a
It's moving
different.
differently.
yeah, really big fire plumes look like they aren't moving, so it's a matter of scale, and it is sometimes an illusion created by the camera as well.
Yeah. That's
So
why I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
legitimately false.
right, it's
I'd
hard to
say it was only that part that
Well,
I
here's
thought
another
was weird.
part of it, right? Here's a different. I mean, there's a million different videos of it. You'd have to like go and look through them all and see. But here's another one that looks similar to that 14-second mark. Somebody driving by. Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks
that is
weird.
so weird to me. That's so CGI
that's the-
looking. Like
that's the
that's
first one I
CGI. Like
saw.
we saw that if we saw that in a movie, we'd be like, that looks shitty. That's
Yeah.
not a good CGI job. Which could be the nature of things. Could be nature can be CGI looking and then really weird. I won't say either way what I believe because I don't believe anything about it. I just noticed it.
I don't know if I can
that's
believe
the guy we were talking about before, Quasi. That's so
Yeah.
funny that Quasi came up.
I don't know
It's
if you
all
can if you can even believe most of the things, because according to John Cleese, there are many hamsters in France who consume elderberries and fart in general directions. Strange general
John Cleese
directions.
and I have the same birthday.
Whoa.
All right, we should get back to what
In
we
some realms, that means you're related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can.
Biden was weird again. I don't know if you guys know that he said something weird again.
Hey, you guys
I
noticed
guess we
that?
should go to that.
So they're trying to say that the rail strike though has been averted in the United States, but it hasn't been.
No, it's just
But there's no
temporary.
news. If you look it up on your Brave browser, you can't find anything about it other than 2 weeks ago. They're trying to hide anything that you can think about the rail strike thing here, the whole shit show that's
They're
happening.
trying to
They
shut
don't want you to
that
think about it.
down. Yep.
Well, if you put rail shutdown anyway, I don't know about rail in general or whatever.
Right.
Rail shutdown gets nothing. It gets 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago at the latest. And then the RMT thing, which is the whole reason I found out about RMT was because of my looking for it in the US and getting nothing.
Yep.
There's the orange line. That's all I got. Cruise repair issue that shut down. That doesn't make any. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it's just 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, rail shutdown. We could have a rail shutdown. Nothing else after that.
Yeah. So let's remind everyone with what Grandpa Corn Pop told everybody.
Oh yeah, he's so creepy. Let's see. He also did a General Assembly fucking speech that was insane and not worth talking about. But yeah. Oh my gosh. That's Sky News. They would say that. Oh my gosh. Because he was like lost at the end of the speech. And I don't even know if he spoke at this thing. But he had a speech.
He can't remember either. So
he's going to walk off the stage is my prediction. That's what's going to happen.
Eventually.
He's going to end up just walking just directly off the stage. And I know that, from being on stages, and Steve can attest to this, that it's really hard to see. But watch, he's going to do it. He's going to walk right off of one of these stages and he's going to hurt himself. And he's going to end up with
and the ghost
in a boot or something else, like in crutches, and then they're gonna be able to use it as an excuse to keep him off of camera or whatever. Like he's just getting worse.
We're gonna watch the part with she was 13, I was 30, so we have context because context is key, everyone. And there's plenty of context for that remark, and you'll see that.
Yeah,
in
it's so gross.
It's so
You'll
sad.
really see it.
Let's go, Brandon.
No, it's 3 minutes in that happens. So let's just show the people what they want to see and have the
Do
context.
they want to see it?
Well, they might not.
Well, I'm sure sure some people in here would want to see it for themselves and not just see the little bitty clips or whatever and see exactly how it went down and the laughing and all of that. And it's fucking joke, an old man joke, but a really shitty, creepy old man joke.
It's not
From
even just like a
an alleged
creepy old man
pedophile.
joke. It is a fucking pedophile. Fucking.
That's what I'm saying. An alleged pedophile is saying it, so that's why people are concerned, because it has negative connotations when it's somebody who has had that kind of relationship with people who may or may not be related to them. YouTube, they may or may not be, whatever, but allegedly. So it will be seen differently than if some regular person said something like that as an age thing to make fun of themselves. So you can see it for what it is, and just notice the background. These people, these poor people, they're trying. They put all their eggs in this basket. It is what it is, or they're waiting for their paycheck. Because that one on the far right of my right, my far right, which would be our far right, if you're watching, she does not look super enthused right there.
None of them do.
So they might be waiting for the paycheck. I'm just allegedly. Only Trump does that. Okay, sure. Alleged. Anyway, I'm going to get some nuts.
Yeah, he just has that diverse of a fucking people behind him. There's nothing staged here.
No, none of this is staged. The backgrounds are all very natural and very, unfucked around with-able. Unfucked around with. Watch the movie The Campaign to find out some real shit. Sometimes Hollywood tells the truth to us and makes us laugh at it.
A long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
Ugh.
Go before that. Go before that. Go like a couple of,
I went right where you told me to.
Yeah, go before that because I was wrong. So, but that's where it is. It's right before that. So it's like 250. It's at 3, though. I was right. I'm just saying it's about 3,
It's not right. It's not who we are, not who we should be. And folks, look, the survival of our planet is on the ballot. And that sounds like hyperbole, but it genuinely is. Well, I tell you what, the thing that we found out, and everybody found out, there's not a lot of total climate deniers anymore after they've seen what happened this year. But guess what? We got a lot to do. You gotta say hi to me. We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway, this woman helped me get an awful lot done. Anyway, but right now,
you're not a woman at 12.
just right now, democracy.
But anyway,
it's on the ballot as well. Folks, I believe America's.
He says a lot of stupid shit.
I apologize to.
He also did the thing. He also did the thing. I forgot that I was unmuted, or muted. He also did the thing where he said the thing about big pharma and everything. I did a tweet about this, and he said, "We beat big pharma again," after saying how many were. You know what the word is?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have that tweet. Okay, so 26 minutes in, go to there for that part.
What,
that
on this?
Right. Yeah, it's in this one. It might not be 26. It might be a little bit before that, actually. Let's see, because it's a different clip. Let's see what's at 25.
That's not democracy. And that's where the mass majority of MAGA Republicans are today. They don't understand what every patriotic American knows. You can't love your country only when you win. Only when you win. So folks, in just 46 days, democracy will be on the ballot. Americans will have to choose between the MAGA Republican platform, who have embraced extremism and the big lie, Democrats, independents, and mainstream Republicans who believe in the rule of law, rejecting the will of the
I'm way off. Never mind. Hold on. I got to find it. Because this is a truncated version, because this is just him talking, and the one that I saw originally was with Well, I'll just give you that clip so that we can go straight to there. So that makes more sense. So that I don't have to search for it. Because it's literally within 2 minutes of each other. So let me send you that. Or I'll just share it. Okay, hold on. I'll share it.
Yeah, I want to get
Hold on. I'll share
to what we're
It's very quick. It's very quick. Don't worry. Okay. There he is. And then I go to the thing. Where is it? That ain't it. This is it. Okay. All right. So 26. Just these little parts. Okay.
A record number of new small businesses created, and over 668,000 new manufacturing jobs in America. The American Rescue Plan helped keep teachers, police officers, firefighters, first responders on the job. It provided the money needed to get schools open, and it was a big reason we have been able to vaccinate over 220 million Americans. More to do.
Cut to.
We pay more for our prescription drugs than any nation in the world. Well, for years, so many of us for a long time, and many of the unions in here, every one of the unions here, have been trying to fix this problem. For years, Big Pharma has blocked us in Medicare from negotiating drug prices. But not this year. We beat Big Pharma.
Yay!
Finally beat them, first time.
Mm-hmm.
Big Pharma lost. And folks, now Medicare will have the power to do what so many Democrats and many Republicans in the past talked about doing, lowering prescription drug prices. They pay billions of dollars, they can negotiate lower prices like other countries do. And the seniors, we passed a law saying beginning in January, no senior, no matter what the cost of their prescription drugs, cancer drugs, whatever drugs they have, and some of them can be $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year. No senior will have to pay, no matter what the cost of their drugs, more than $2,000 a year.
Yay! We're winning.
Beginning in January.
Beginning in January.
And if you're on Medicare and you have diabetes, the cost of your insulin, instead of being 30 to 40 to 50 times more than the cost to make the insulin, it costs $10 to make that insulin. 10. And package it. But now you cannot charge any senior, and we should make it for everybody. They voted down the other piece, but every senior will not have to pay more than $35 a month for the cost of the insulin.
Yay! Incrementalism. Woo-hoo.
We wanted to cut the cost of insulin.
Yay! Sounds good. That's what you voted for.
Not me.
No, thank you.
No, them, those people.
If they allegedly, we don't know that they even voted for him.
Yeah, allegedly.
All right.
So
All
yeah,
right.
that's the Biden portion.
All right. Yeah, enough to make me sick.
Nuts. That's what she said.
Yeah. Pretty gross.
Yeah,
as
he's
usual.
disgusting. Yeah.
Okay. So, are we going to talk about Dr. Richard?
Yes.
Florida? You know, I hear a lot of things about this guy. I listened to a little bit of him talking about the Ronas. Interesting dude. Seemed he had some interesting ideas. That's what I'll say. Wow, am I this far behind? I'm just now. I was just looking at my phone, looking and saying, all I can see is the Paris fire. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
I'm eating nuts. So give me a
All right.
moment. It's important.
Squirrel distractions. This is good though, because now it's like a broken up point. Then we can move on to this other story, and then it's good. You can catch up with the chat.
Yep.
Gray Walker. Applejack and Wesley Reynolds and Kinky.
Yeah, Seb, they are. Yeah, they are
Serious.
freaking psychos.
Psycho.
Laughing at what Biden says, that and it's fucking pedophile fucking comments. It's so disgusting. Oh,
Trouble.
I am so fed up with that kind of thing. Like, it's absolutely fucking gross. Oh, excuse me. All right. So do we have something on the doctor?
I was finishing my nuts. Still am. Trying to get his book because I found the date. Hold on. So I should preface this by saying, okay, I was doing some research yesterday and looking at all the COVID stuff. How do I say? Not COVID. Control propaganda. It just so happened to happen, which was the Lockstep Initiative. If you have not read the document, strategic, what is it called? Not even. Strategic. How do I not remember yet? International development. Strategic something. Scenarios. I don't know why I've said strategic. Scenarios for future something or other. Technology. This is correct. And international development. Is that right? No, that's not right. Okay.
International development.
I think the people that you're referring to, Seb, is like that listen to the corporate news and that are saying Biden is the best president ever. They're just like the most propagandized.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And I think they're paid, and I think some of them are probably bots. Like, not for sure 100%, but I don't know them all.
It would seem that way.
But I'm pretty sure that it's a possibility.
Just like the thing of us just kind of like, pointing out the grotesque fucking nature of him commenting on a 12-year-old and all of this like pedophilia fucking vibe that he gives off is like seen by people who like think Biden is a good guy and a good president as just the most, fucking blasphemous fucking shit you can say about a president, and like that you're all crazy and conspiracy theorists and all of that, even though like all the evidence points to the fact that no, he's probably fucking one of those dudes. He's pretty fucking gross.
Yeah.
But you get seen as like, I could imagine like, my other friends who are like fucking straight up fucking dyed in the wool fucking blue hippie fucking heads, they will vote Democrat until fucking hell freezes over. And, trying to present them with the idea that Obama was a fucking terrible president for 2 terms in a fucking row was just they're just like, no, you can't say that. That's not true.
Yeah. And then
he
they
had
turn
a tan
around.
Suit once. That's all you can say.
Yeah, you can't talk about facts. You can't talk about facts as long as if those facts like go against what their delusion is. It's just not, it's not acceptable. And then they have to find a way to like, to smear you and to, go attack you. Yeah, Trump derangement syndrome and Russiagate broke their minds. Absolutely.
So much detachment from reality taking place on so many levels. It's amazing. Manifesting new fucking alternate realities and shit that people actually live in.
Seb says I argue with them regularly on Twitter.
All right.
Either that or the
I don't argue anymore.
that push
Argue.
people to still vote Dems and call NATO anti.
I try not to argue with the people, but sometimes I have an opinion and like I state the opinion and somehow that makes me a bad musician or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how those two things correlate, but apparently that's how it works.
Apparently.
If you disagree with a person, they just have no other choice but to smear you and whatever talent you think you might.
Oh my gosh, there it is. I found it. Goddamn.
Nice
scenario for the future of technology and international development. Scenario for the future of technology. Scenario, God damn it, for the future. I found it on a fact-checking website, of course.
That's technology. A long fucking title, Jesus.
It's from 2010, so this is important. So let me get this little link so I can put it in the chat.
Yeah.
All right. Oh wait, is this it? No. Dang it. I have it somewhere, but I don't have it anywhere near me where I can put it in here. They really are trying to not give it to us. Okay.
Seb, I'm just gonna tag you anytime I have somebody that's be a pain in the ass on Twitter, okay?
Oh, let me go to archive. Archive.org.
Seb's like, I got you.
Got it.
I know Seb will have me on fucking Twitter with the fucking people. I'm just gonna be like, listen, here's the tweet. Have at it.
Okay. So I found the document. I'll put the link in the chat. I know, a different thing. I don't know what's going on, but I put that in the chat for you to have as a reference, guys, because the next topic is related to that, because this document came out as a PDF from the Rockefeller Foundation. Sound familiar? And it was published in May 2010.
Can you put it in the private chat?
Okay.
Because I can't get the show notes and stuff like that. I need to have everything put in the private chat so that I can copy it.
That's correct.
So I can't get it from our live
chat. We can look
chat.
at it too, because just to see the publication and the lockstep part. Because if you haven't if you've forgotten about lockstep, this will be a reminder as we go into the Great Reset, because the Lockstep initiative came out before the Great Reset. So we're going to start at Lockstep and then work our way up.
So this is to do with the doctor?
This is related because it was before the doctor came out with his book and published it.
Right.
And it's similar.
Okay. I'm just trying to clarify for everybody, trying to follow along.
That's why I'm saying, like, we're going to discuss the Lockstep initiative before we get to the Great Reset, because that happened first. And Richard Florida, we were talking about him because he originated, allegedly, because I can't find anything before him, and everything that I found has said that he wrote this book, The Great Reset. Yes, there's another book called The Great Reset a long time ago in 2010.
Yep. I heard.
Yeah, none of this is new.
Ryan Christian pointed that out as well, actually talking about.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure this
two
is
of those books. Yep, I remember hearing.
But I was thinking we could do a watch along of the the presentation that he does that we're going to delve into a little bit.
Yeah.
You can watch that at some point. So if you go to the next page, just go to the arrow. This is from archive.org. They're always good for this, usually.
They're good for Grateful Dead bootlegs too and live music.
If you zoom in, you'll see the date when it was published. And then you scooch down. May 2010. So I can't really find the page where it confirms this other than Wikipedia, but Wikipedia has said in the entry that they have the book that comes the next year. Not the next year, but the next month. That's why. No, this is actually before. God damn it, I'm fucked. I can't remember dates. Okay, I'm not a calendar.
You're not.
All right, this is after then. Sorry. So let's circle back to the Great Reset because that happened first. So everything I said before was not true and was not purposely untrue. I just forgot how calendars work. So
Yeah, it's
apologies.
just the dogma of sequential order. You know, that's all it is.
April and May. So April, if we go to, how do we get there? Okay, let's see. Oh, shit. Okay, we go to HarperCollins, my bad. HarperCollins, I'll put that in the chat. And then you can look at the book, which came out in 2010, the month before this, which would be April 2010. It didn't come out. It wasn't on sale then. It was on sale in 2011. That's why I got confused, because I can't remember how those dates all go together. But according to Wikipedia and the page for the Great Reset, which could be fucked around with, we don't know. But it says the publication date was 2010, April 2010. And then it goes to ISBN, but I don't think that's going to take me anywhere. I tried. Nope. But I assume if there's an ISBN or whatever, then it probably is legit. You know what I mean? Plus, this was after to give you an idea of what this is about. This is after the market crash of 2007, 2008, the financial crisis that happened. So that was the first crisis where he was like, hey, you know what? Let's see what we can do. Let's see how we can take this opportunity to change the world. And it has a part
Angela.
Yeah, good night. See you later. Come back for
the replay, and there'll be a Rumble and Odyssey also.
Yep.
We get into the real shit there.
That's right. That's where the gloves
I only
come
have
off.
to pay $11 for this. Wow. Good deal. Anywho, how the post-crash economy will change the way we live and work. And then it says here, where I was looking on the Wikipedias, part 1 is passed as prologue, and it discusses the 1870s. It goes all the way back, which is perfect because that's also in line with Klaus's stuff with the Fourth Industrial Revolution. So I see some Fourth Industrial Revolution ideas from this guy as well. And then he talks about the Great Depression, an ownership society, which we'll hear him talk about a little bit in his little speech. And then part 2, redrawing the economic way, and then talking about the creative economy, which he discusses in the speech, and fire economy, finance, insurance, and real estate. And then he goes into part 3, which is a new way of life. And it talks about all these different cities and stuff. And he's like of the mind of like smart cities. He wants to develop that kind of shit everywhere. And he wants everyone to live in the shitty. He wants everyone to live in the shitty, exactly. Geographic sorting, all that stuff. Cities like New York City, Chicago, and San Francisco are where the most graduates flock to each year. And he argues that cities benefit from economies of scale and produce the most efficient systems for the economy, environment, and transportation. So that's basically like an overview of his book, so you know that happened. And then here's a little more about him. So I give you the website about Richard Florida, so you know a little more about his background and stuff. He has a weird website that I tried to go to that was like, I don't know if it was Asian. I went there and it was just Asian pop-ups, and I was like scared and I got out. But apparently it existed at some point, and it's called covidcities.com. But it does not exist anymore, so don't go there. It's not exist. And yet his website is saying to go there, so visit his COVID-19 related covidcities.com. The fact that he said COVID-19 related is interesting to me.
Yeah, that's
that word. You can just look at his page. It's insane. Like, he's so weird. Buffering. There he is. Thought leader and researcher and author. And we'll talk about what he's authored other than that too. And he's a professor at University of Toronto School of Cities. So you can just go to like see what events he has. Let's look at events. See how updated this website is. And he has a thing with Colbert there too.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. He hasn't worked since July 2022. Poor thing. He needs to get back out there. What's he doing? Get back to work, Richard.
Vanderbilt
Yeah, he does-
University.
Yeah. He works
Harvard.
with them. Oh, no, he didn't. That was Jeffrey Epstein. I got him confused. Not a legend.
Rubenstein Partners, Property Council of Australia.
These are all his speeches. Speech engagements.
Is that- Was that culture shock for you, Sebs, moving from New York City to Ohio? I don't know where you moved to in Ohio. They got cities there too, but
I have a
Thank you
lot
for
on
the-
him.
Thank you for the follow over on Odyssey. I appreciate that.
Let's get out of there. Trying to remember what else I have here. Oh yeah, the city thing.
Yes, they have the Vanderbilt Hospital, and yeah, I've been seeing some stuff. I'm putting some stuff together on to cover on all that stuff that they're doing. It's pretty crazy.
Okay, I also have. I didn't put it up, but I will get it now. There is a connection, obviously, between this and WEF, the World Economic Forum, because as it turns out, I'm going to say this before we watch the thing. Richard Florida has a WEF page. Not only does Richard Florida have a WEF page,
Well, look at their clients. Look at their client list. I mean, jeez, what a client list. Goldman Sachs and Google and Bacardi.
you
know?
could have guessed he'd have a WEF. There'd be a WEF for that. with all
But
these
based upon his client list, I would.
That's what I'm
would-
saying.
It would
You
be
could
very, very easy to say, "Oh, I bet you he has, he has that."
Johnson &
Because I
Johnson.
mean, gosh, he's got Citigroup and he's got Microsoft. What Microsoft?
Kraft, Debs,
Converse, Zappos. So he's like in with and Rubenstein Partners and FedEx. Like, wow, he's Air
wild.
Canada. He's
These are all
kind
the
of
people who have
got it
talked.
everywhere.
that's
Yeah.
pretty wild. And an unrelated thing, the fact that Sebs just moved from New York to Ohio or whatever and bought a home, and Linnea Cannon is from Kent and lives a half hour away. Like, that's random. In the same chat. Interesting.
That's really cool. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Council
I mean-
on Global Affairs,
There's just
Brookings Institute, Monster.
all these big names are his clients.
I'm sure Aspen
Just the-
Institute's in here too.
The
because
city
he
of
spoke
Seattle, like just the city,
Yeah.
like just all of the city of Seattle.
So
He's
there
a
are.
thought
look right
leader.
here.
Lucky, come on.
What's this?
What
What's
is
this?
that?
What's this logo right here?
It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
What is that?
This logo.
Just
Don't look
keep
at it.
scrolling. Come on, don't look at it. People will.
Don't worry
wanna
about
know.
it.
People want to know stuff. Don't ruffle the waters.
Don't ruffle the water.
Don't ruffle the waters of the feathers or something. The water
Just keep
feathers.
ignoring it.
Keep ignoring. Nothing to see here.
Media. All these institutions.
Hey, Oz is like, this guy's small change. He hasn't got KPMG, Cooper's, Lybrand, or Price Waterhouse. He's got some pretty good ones there, though.
He's
Besides
got the
some-
Times. He's got
Yes,
the
the
Wall
Atlantic
Journal.
Council.
Yeah.
He's got Esquire and USA Today, Atlantic, Newsweek.
Yeah. Steve Wolfburgers. What's up, buddy? Nice
I
to
mean,
see
look
you.
at all these, like, he's got the arts. He's got,
Neat.
He's in every
Yeah.
realm.
Lots
He will
of
save
coverage.
us. He
BBC.
wants to help us.
Oh, wait. He's
Thank you
in
for listening.
healthcare? Of course. Of course.
Well, that's, I mean, we're just speculating about this guy, right? He doesn't have any real WEF connections and stuff, does he? Come on.
I love the creative class group. I love that. This is just his
Purdue
I don't know
University.
if this is actually just him. It's probably other people as well in the same group, but
Sure.
hard to know. Harvard.
There's the Vanderbilts again.
Big B.
A lot of nasty stuff happening down there. Florida, International University.
Hey, that's funny. Florida.
Yeah, ironic. Don't you think?
I want to see him in Florida.
University of Iowa, University of BC, Texas
All the
Tech.
universities. And he has testimonials, so you know he's legit.
You know he is.
Science.
No frauds ever have testimonials.
I mean,
Hey, relax.
did I?
Relax, crazy bird.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
his business. This is his whole. He founded this, so.
So, I mean, yeah, he's got all of these ties to all of these places.
So then, okay, did I put the thing in? I did. Okay, the WEF page.
Yep.
Let's look at his WEF page because he's an agenda contributor. He's not just some random dude with a WEF page, guys. He's an agenda contributor, which means that Klaus must have found out about the Great Reset at some point and been like, well, that guy's got some good ideas, and got him on board.
Uh-huh.
That can be the only explanation for me.
It seems like. Just saying.
You don't know agenda contributor until you get the link. You'll see the link it says it in the link in the chat, guys. It's in the link. So there he is, his smug face. Look at me, I know everything. I want to talk to you.
Wizard. What was his degree?
I don't know.
It was like vague, like urban something planning guy. That's what.
So then that leads us to his biggest speechy speech at Aspen Institute, which also has an interesting relationship to Bill Gates through the funding. So we'll get to that. So I put that in the chat. So now we've seen his page. We know he's connected to them now. And we know that he's active. And we know that he came up with allegedly the Great Reset as a response to the original crisis of 2007, 2008, the market crash.
Morning.
I'm drinking tea. Hibiscus tea. Passion
Mom,
fruit.
What time stamp is this video was clipped at?
32 minutes in, because we don't need the whole introduction and everything. I want you guys to watch this yourselves and watch it with us, because hopefully we're going to do a watch along of the whole speech. Because we have to have some discussions. It's very involved. It's the origin of the Great Reset, so I recommend watching it. Let me put it in the chat for you guys. The Great Reset. And you won't find this looking up the Great Reset because it's all WEF all the time now. So if you want to find it, you have to look up the Great Reset, Richard, Florida. You have to know this guy's name to find the speech because you won't otherwise. And this only has 55,000. If you scroll down 55,000 and the little thingamabob about what it is, and even they say it's drawn up by the World Economic Forum in response to the COVID-19 pandemic in the Wikipedias, which isn't even true because this predates that by 10 years.
Right.
So they're not even telling the truth there.
Yeah, look at
Because you're
this.
seeing the original one.
55,449 views, and it's from July 8th of 2010.
Which was after he had published this book, The Great Reset.
So there's
And
more
that's
people
why
that have
it's
seen
called
Peach's
COVID-19,
videos.
The Great Reset.
There's more people that have seen Peach's videos than have probably seen this.
The Aspen Institute, which was funded partly by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation with millions and millions of dollars. So this was not a COVID-19 related thing in the beginning. It was related to the crisis. If you scroll down, you'll see the first comment, which is very interesting, from this person. And they say what
He wants less people to own a car. He
But you'll
wants
see.
top-down
We can go
central
back up and
planners.
see
He
it
wants more public investment, i.e. higher taxes. He wants to reduce home ownership in the country and around the world. He basically wants to make sure you never own your home or you get thrown out of your home if you already own one. Make sure you never own a car or make it impossible for you to keep your car if you already have one. Tax you to death and run your life like you are a serf, and he is a dictator. He is basically a technocratic would-be dictator.
Let's see if that's true, shall we?
Sounds charming.
Let's go to 32 and hear his big plan for the Great Reset. These are his talking points from his book. Remember, his book was published later, I believe. But, I mean, no, it was published in April 2010. And this was in July. So he's promoting that book.
Is going to happen next in this Great Reset. What I think we're up against with all of this backgrounding that you've just heard, the rise of the creative economy, the importance of diversity, and the importance of place and community and city. We have built a powerful economic infrastructure. We have created the potential for productivity increases and technological innovation that people like my parents, my grandparents with no education could have scantily even dreamed about in futuristic projections. But of course, that's all broken down. We have unemployment rates that's bobbling in the mid 9%. The real unemployment rate is probably 15, 16, 17, 18%. And Dave Bing, the new mayor of Detroit, has said in the inner city of Detroit, he believes the real unemployment rate is 50%. We have unemployment rates of 25% or higher for people who work in construction, 15% or higher for blue-collar people. And it doesn't look like it's getting better. Our housing market is stuck in the mud, no matter how much money we throw at it. The Eurozone is in terrible shape, and anyone who even bothers, who has the stomach to look at our deficit numbers, gets terrified. So what do we need to do? Our quick fixes didn't work. Our attempt to throw money at the problem and stimulate our economy out of it didn't work. Our monetary policy innovations didn't work either. Yes, they have stabilized and caused us to get past the worst, but they have improved the foundation for growth. We're wasting, sorry, Ron, we're wasting the crisis. Now, what do we need to do or think about to get out of this? We need to keep our eye on the ball. We need to build a real social, economic, and geographic underpinning that can move our economy forward. I learned about this in the Great Reset when I did the research. I learned 3 things that happened during these periods. These aren't just depression periods or recession periods or crisis periods. These are periods when we reset our lives, when financial reality sets in, when millions and millions of people begin to behave differently. The first thing I learned are these are very long-term processes. Anyone who thinks we're out of the woods on this needs to take a long look at the numbers. It took 24 years for real estate prices to rebound from their 1929 lows. Remember my dad? My dad was 8 years old in 1929 when the stock market crashed. You know how old my dad was when he bought his first suburban house in North Arlington, New Jersey, and began to participate in the great American dream? He was 40. He was 40 years old before And we went through a depression, not only government spending, a New Deal, World War II mobilization, and then another decade before the economy emerged on this great path. Looking back in historical memory, we shrink time. Same thing happened in the 1870s. It took 3 decades to reset the economy. Second thing I learned is that government spending is an important enabler, but it can't solve the problem. And the third thing I learned is that individual technological innovations, these are the most individually technologically innovative periods. The 1870s and 80s and 1930s were the 2 most innovative decades. They blow away the 1990s in terms of innovation. But it's not just individual innovations, it's new systems of innovation, like Thomas Edison and George Westinghouse's system of electric power, like our system of street railways and cable cars and subways, like public sanitation, like our system of roadways and traffic that allowed and new housing systems. We have to build whole systems of innovation. And then I learned something even more fundamental. What powers economic recovery over and above all of those is something no one ever talks about except a small clique of geographers. They call it the spatial fix. The spatial fix. It's not the technological fix that powers our way out of recession and depression. What they argue, it's the spatial fix. I'll make this real simple. It wasn't just New Deal spending that helped us get out of the depression. It wasn't just World War II mobilization that helped us recover from the economic crisis. There was something that was more important than any of them: the rise of suburbia. The suburban way of life. When my dad sat in front of that house and said, "Rich, we live on what I thought was a farm. This was a farm when I was a boy, and I couldn't even get here because nobody had a car. We live on a farm." That's the nature of the shift. The suburban way of life, the combination of houses and roads, spurred the demand for all of those products of the assembly line. It worked perfectly for the old order. It doesn't work perfectly anymore. We need a dramatic break with the housing, energy, auto complex. Why? Not because sprawl is a bad thing, not because suburban houses are silly or tacky or people don't like them. That's all nonsense. Because if we're going to open up spending and create demand for the new industries that are going to power our future, if we're going to invest in new technology-based industries and new energy, and personal and human development, skill development, where's that money going to come from? Why did Americans go into so much debt in the first place? We were massively over-consuming the fundamental goods of the old order: housing and energy and cars. The average American spends over 55% of their income on housing, cars, and energy. Add in education and healthcare, food, and what's left over. Herbert Hoover had a great phrase. You might not like Herbert Hoover. A chicken in every pot and a car in every garage. Before a car could go into every garage, agriculture had to become effective, efficient, and cheap. Before we can build an economy of the future on creativity and knowledge and productivity, we got to make housing and energy and cars cheap. And what the book, The Great Reset, talks about is how that is happening now. How we can already see the beginnings of that trend as empty nesters abandon their McMansions and move back to smaller units. As young people postpone buying a house. As our cultural fetish for cars begins to diminish. Everyone from Nate Silver to many others are showing the decline in cars at a status symbol. As millions upon millions of Americans slowly but surely begin to reset the way we live. We're going to build a new way, a new spatial unit. Cities were the thing that powered the first economic revolution. Cities and suburbs and suburbanization powered post-war growth. We are generating massive new mega regions. It's not city versus suburb anymore. That's a mistaken debate. It's city and suburb. The intensification and increased density and concentration. Look at the greater Washington, D.C. area. It's, of course, the rebuilding of the district, but Bethesda and Arlington, the remaking of Tyson's Corner as a more walkable, human. 60% of Americans say they want to live in a walkable neighborhood. These massive mega regions, like the New York, Boston, Washington corridor, the Denver, Boulder area, Northern California, Southern California, where I live, the area that goes from Toronto to Buffalo to Rochester. 40 of these mega regions worldwide house less than 18% of our people. They produce 2/3 of our output and 9 in 10 of our innovations. We're going to have to make them bigger and stronger and more economically integrated. We're going to need better forms of transportation. High-speed rail is one, and we can talk about it. we're going to have to tilt the balance away from home ownership. It's something I've been writing a great deal about. Home ownership was the fundamental economic driver of post-war prosperity. It was the major economic and social and geographic underpinning. It no longer powers growth. It puts people in the poorhouse. It distorts our economy. It deflects resources where they can be better used. We found in our research that already 36 million Americans rent, and more are doing so every day. In the most flexible and vibrant and innovative communities across this country, our high point in home ownership was 70%. It's falling drastically as a result of the crisis. It's now down to about 66%. The Urban Land Institute predicts it'll be 62%, but in the most innovative communities in our country, whether that's Silicon Valley or LA and entertainment or New York, 50 to 55% of people own their homes. We have to tilt back home ownership from where it was. And in the less innovative, the stodgiest, the most economically depressed communities, 80% of people own their homes. We need to invest in an infrastructure of the future, not an infrastructure of the past. Every great reset has seen the way we house Americans and organize our cities shift. We need to build an economy and a set of economic underpinnings. We need to take a set of public investments and invest them in the future. Well, as a professor, you know I come from the Fidel Castro School of Public Speaking, so I could talk about this all day. But I promise to leave you some time for questions. So with that, I'll end, and please fire
Okay,
away.
let's
There's microphones
stop it there.
here in your front. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, then he does the Q&A, which gets even more inane. But I'm not saying he's the man behind WEF or anything, but he has some ideas that kind of got co-opted.
Yeah, well, somebody's riding off the back of somebody here, because they're all coming up with these same terms, and there's no one person to point to. There's a bunch of people to point to that are all saying the same narrative.
And they
like King Charles is saying it, and everyone was like,
who is not an agenda contributor, by the way, and supposedly came up with the Great Reset, which he did not.
Well, who knows where it originated from at this point?
And they're not going to tell you on the internet, obviously. They're not going to say where he got this idea from.
Because what I heard from him just now was any of the resets. Like, he's talking about, like, this is a regular thing. Like, we just keep resetting. Yes. Like, so is maybe we're getting clues to the fact that the Great Reset is just something that they're using over and over again, and it's part of probably their language that they use on a regular basis. And it's not just like a one thing. It's not just a one person. Who knows where it originated? I mean, obviously you've sourced this back. What was it, like 12 years ago?
Yeah.
So, like, that's the farthest back that we know of. But who knows? It could go back even farther. This could be, it is part of a much bigger plan that's been around for a lot longer.
I think it is, because
I think that
if
number
you read
is
the
low,
COVID.
Seb.
What?
I'm sorry. I think that number is low, Seb, because you said 26% of the people in Cuba live in poverty. I'm like, what's that number for the U.S.? And who are you trusting to give you that number in the first place?
Oh,
I don't know.
Well, that would be a long time ago. That would be in 2010. So the numbers would change.
Certainly.
And the 50% unemployment is probably not true either. It's probably hyperbole, as the president likes to say. But
malarkey.
It's not hyperbole. It's not hyperbole. I'm not joking.
It's malarkey, Jack. You know the thing.
That's not hyperbole.
Okay, corn pop.
Okay, popcorn was a bad dude. Okay, so anyway, exactly, bomb them to peace, but bomb them to pieces. No, that's not okay. So anyway, Great Reset. Yeah. So he's talking about issues that have happened that have turned over the economy, have changed things immensely in the past, and how we can do that in the future, and take crisis and turning it into an opportunity and that sort of thing. And that's what Klaus says now and everything. And so like, he's also, to show you how much power he has and everything and influence, he's still writing today. So we're going to get to that after we get to the Klaus part. So cut to 2020, Lucky. So then we're in 2020, everything's shit. We're all in hell. And the book, the COVID-19, The Great Reset, has been authored by Klaus Schwab and Thierry Mallet. And I've read it on my podcast. I've done a whole audiobook of it. So there are parts of that reference events in the past that are very similar to what he's doing, but go back a long ways, like 500 BC and all that shit. So he talks a lot about different events that have happened that have caused people to react a certain way and develop a different type of thinking and ideas for the future and that sort of thing, and the fourth industrial revolution kind of ideas, and macro reset, micro reset. There's all these different ideas in that book that are kind of reminiscent of what this guy's doing, but he just did a little bit of it, and that one goes more into detail about it, and fleshes out some of his ideas more. But I can't really say that for sure because I haven't read The Great Reset. I've only read the COVID-19, The Great Reset, so I don't know how much it cribs from that, and how much plagiarism might be playing a role. So anyway, the idea of the Great Reset that we know of in pop culture is 12 years old. I should amend that. And we don't know how far back it goes. Somebody said it goes to the 90s, but I have not seen any actual sources for that happening, as I have other things. But if we look at the 2020 launch of the Great Reset, which was allegedly King Charles' idea, but not really.
Yeah, and then I found video today when I was looking around at Dr. Florida here. I found video of him talking about COVID-19 at the beginning.
Oh yeah, we're getting to that. I don't want to spoil that too early, so I want to get to that. But we can do that for the next part, I think, because we could go into the deepness of that topic more, don't you think? In the next part.
Yeah. That's probably wise.
So I was thinking we should save it for the pandemic part.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
circle back,
switch over to Rumble and Odyssey to get into some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you guys the links and ask you guys to to pick a Rumble or an Odyssey. Sign up for them if you have to. But we will have to cut off of YouTube to talk about some of the stuff because they don't allow us to talk about certain things.
Well, they'll literally shut us off if we talk about certain things.
Yeah, they've done it to me before.
They have. They've done it.
They've given me strikes on my channel and made it so I can't stream.
Yep.
And I have
and copyright. They got rid of us, and then we came back on a stream.
Yeah. I have copyright. I have copyright violations on like a bunch of streams. I am not monetized on YouTube. I would like to get the freaking shorts that I'm making monetized because that's a different thing. But
it is.
Yeah, it's a process.
Well, the monetization of the shorts is different than regular long form content. It's a totally different thing.
On purpose, yeah.
Yep. Well,
so if we look at that,
I'm using that algorithm though right now to my benefit because they remove Steve as a follower from me. Like they remove people all the time. People tell me all the time, like, yeah, they unsubscribe me to your channel. They don't give me alerts for it. Like they've been doing this all along. I mean, they literally removed 2,000 views on a video that is a parrot and a cat. Like, on my stream, on my show. So like, really, like it's ridiculous, and they wonder why they're in such competition with TikTok and Instagram, but probably because they're not doing that to people. People are sick of it.
They're doing other things. We'll get into that later too. There's more topics. Look at the corner. It says, "Is the pandemic over?" Isn't that funny? It's like they knew we were going to talk about that.
Yep.
Hilarious.
Gamer, we're just about to bounce over to the Rumbles and the Odysseys here in a second.
Gamer, love you. We're on the Great Reset. We're resetting to another location.
Resetting to a different platform, everyone.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I'm going to see you guys popping over here while we're doing it.
So we can just watch the first couple of minutes of this to get the idea of how they presented it in 2020. That's all I wanted to show for this video. It's the launch. Oh my gosh, a new idea, a new thing. Not really, though. Literally like a little bit less than 12 years.
And this is from June 5th of 2020.
It's like a brand new thing from 12 years ago.
A little over 12 years, because that's June and July. Again, math, not my strong suit. Calendar, not me. Let's move on. 700,000 views. That shows you the difference. The WEF stuff gets so many more views than the Richard Florida shit.
Weird.
Yet they're connected now. So I don't know when they connected, though. I would love to know when he got his WEF page. Gosh, I wish I could find that out. But I can't. I'd have to call Klaus, and I'm not calling him.
Give him a shout. You will tell us.
And
I should call the WEF and see if I can find that information. That'd be good.
The reuse
I'm sure
is
they would tell me.
allowed under license. They're like,
They
this is
want us to talk
perfectly
about it.
fine. They want people to share this, and they're making sure that under license, like, you won't get a copyright violation for this because they want you to reuse this and to be sharing this.
Correct.
That shows you.
Look over here.
Now is the historical moments, a time
We've
not only
seen
to
this
fight
before,
severe
like a
virus, but to shape the system.
We have a unique but rapidly shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset
There he
ourselves
is,
on
the
a more
king.
sustainable path. It is an opportunity we have never had before and may never have again. So we must use all the levers we have at our disposal, knowing that each and every one of us
He's
has
very
a
good at
vital
reading
role
a
to
script.
play.
Now is the time to think what history would say about this crisis. And now is the time for all of us to define our own role. What is it that would make it so that history would look at this crisis as the great opportunity for reset?
The Great Reset is a welcome recognition that this human tragedy must be a wake-up call. It is imperative that we reimagine, rebuild, redesign, reinvigorate, and rebalance our world. Rebalancing investment, harnessing science and technology, and advancing the transition to net zero emissions, all elements of the Great Reset, are fundamental to building the future we need.
The world's problems fit on three sides of a triangle.
And you can end it
It's
there,
one
'cause,
versus
like,
many,
you don't need to get
man
into
versus
all of the
nature,
characters.
and the unfortunate
That's the
foundation
MasterCard guy, though.
is long-term versus short-term.
MasterCard is in
We
league
had
with
already
WEF as
income
well.
inequality that was fueling.
So that gives you an idea. Like, this is circling back to the last episode that we did together, where we were talking about King Charles and his Great Reset situation that he was trying to hype up. And now we go back and we see Richard Florida, and then we come back to the Great Reset launch, and we see that that is not exactly what it was, and it was rebranded. You're still muted.
No, now.
Now you can hear me?
No, you good.
All right. Well, I was just saying it's a brand new idea from 12 years ago. Come on, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's fresh.
Yes.
And Wikipedia says it's totally new. That's why he had to call it COVID-19 the Great Reset, because he couldn't call it the Great Reset because it's already a book. Now we know why.
Yeah. Yeah, because, yeah.
I hope you can't hear me when I'm drinking, but if you can, sorry. Or you're welcome. Hey, Mana Talk.
Jim Mana. Hello up, buddy.
We're going to be heading over to Rumble and Odyssey. If you guys want to follow those links and come on over. I see that our numbers on YouTube are going down, and we are getting more people over on Rumble. Awesome. And we're getting people over on Odyssey.
Hell yeah.
Please hit a like whatever platform you are watching on. It really does help. Helps with that, with the whole algorithm that's already against me. Has been.
We're talking pandemic next. What is
Talking
the pandemic over?
So you should have like the
yeah,
the toidle and the otter queued.
And again, I really want to do a watch along of that speech. So guys,
I think that's a great idea, Elle. I'm down with that.
We can really get into it on his Great Reset that he totally came up with.
Well, I'm interested to find out like what this urban development that he promotes, like what is it that he's promoting, and which ways does that tie in with
yes, the smart city thing.
Smart city
because people come up with things that like they really sound like good ideas, and they might be on the surface, but then they have ties to something like, the World Economic Forum, and it's like, wait a minute, now you have to re-examine everything that person like has been for. And the fact that the Great Reset is 12 years old, it's not a brand new thing. It's not even a Prince Charles, just Prince Charles thing.
It's Richard's
or
idea.
Someone else regurgitated that idea, and but he's been saying this is,
it's Richard Florida's idea.
As far as we know, it's his idea right now. To our current knowledge, that is the oldest information that we have
likely
of that
suspect. That's all.
Saying that,
according to the internet,
without 100% confirmation of that, but yeah,
I cannot find any link at all. They won't let me between Klaus and Richard. There's no information that's like Richard visited Klaus at this thing and that. Like, they do not want me to find a connection between Klaus and Richard at all.
If you look at the companies on his site, there are probably, if we took a list of those companies and compared them to then the World Economic Forum's partnerships and programs and all this and that, like we needed like a side-by-side comparison or a chart or graph or something that kind of like shows all the different ties to all the different companies and all the people's names, because it's so many that it's like unless you individually like know all the heads of these companies, and then like we have the revolving door like we were talking about earlier. Like these people, they work in government, and then they work in these corporations, and then they go back and they like that revolving door also works its way in and within corporations too. Like there's a corporate revolving door too, so like they could be doing it in a low-key way so that people don't put the two together, like, and it's just crazy.
I also put in the chat the Gates Foundation committed grants page for the Aspen Institute, which is what put on that speech. So you guys can read that at your leisure and see all the money that goes there.
So I hope that we have everybody over onto Rumble and Odyssey. I know it's like a split, between the two, but we have. I don't think we have everybody yet. Is everybody getting over there? Let me see. I like to give everybody plenty of time to get over to the other sites.
Yeah. Wait. Not wait. That's for me. I'm trying to think something. That'll take a minute. I do want to do that. I will do that. Yeah. There we go. Whew. Are we getting there?
Yeah, I'm just checking up on the chat, making sure that nobody's having any problems.
Oopsie daisy.
Kinky, you can go to either Rumble or Odyssey. We have people on both.
She's they're already over here in this. In the room.
Okay.
Kick me over here.
All right. Gamer, did you make it over there? Is Gamer there? Kinky's been here before, Gamer. It's just been a while.
It's been a while since we've seen Kinky in the chat. It's been a while. I don't remember the next one. I don't know how to do the next one. Just
I don't know that
leave it there for copyright reasons.
All
That's
right.
not a song. Nobody wrote that. Don't worry about it.
There's a couple people that have had that problem, Seb, where they couldn't they couldn't chat in the Odyssey. I don't know why.
I don't either.
Did you get it figured out?
I hope so. I hope the people that can chat in the Odyssey can chat in the Odyssey. I don't know why. It's device dependent, I guess. You know, certain ones can do certain things, and I know it works on the iPhone, but I don't know if it works the same way on Android or whatever.
I think you have to have your account verified or something like that. Like you have to have verified the email or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They send you a code or something, email.
I have no idea.
Some kind of sign up.
Huh.
I
They
don't.
need your data. Give them the data.
Data.
Data. I need data. Data.
Somebody
Give
call
me
data. I crashed the car. I need some data.
All right. Well, we still have people over on the YouTube. But we are going to be ending the YouTube stream. So please follow us over on the Odyssey or Rumble.
Yeah.
I'm putting the links in here one more time, and then I'm gonna
Give you 30
end
seconds. TikTok.
And then I'm going to end the YouTube portion of the stream.
Portion.
This partition.
Partial.
Parsnip.
I'm partial to portions.
I'm partial to
Listen.
parsnips.
Be nice to me.
Sorry.
Love a good parsnip.
I was not being mean. Sorry. Not on purpose.
I'm kidding.
I
All
never
right.
purposefully be mean. Unless it's to Biden or any war criminal. I tried to find out if I was autistic in a quiz, and it turned out I'm just an asshole. Nobody liked my tweet, but I did tweet that.
That's pretty great. I have had similar experiences. I'm like, am I just is there some kind of social
There has to be a
thing?
reason.
Yeah, there's got to be a reason, people. Why do people think I'm always fighting with them when I answer them on the Twitter? Turns out I'm just an asshole, son of a bitch.
Why do people not get my bluntness? I
Right.
must have a social disorder.
Yes, exactly. That's immediately what you think. There's something wrong with me. I've got a deficiency. Clearly.
No, I know. Everyone else has the fucking deficiency of fucking honesty.
Yes, everybody has an honesty deficiency and capacity. Both of those.
Like, don't get me started on fucking honesty and all that. Okay.
Honestly, let's go to the Rumble and the Odyssey.
Honesty.
All right. Well,
Such a long.
we are going to say goodbye to everybody on the YouTubes.
Yeah. Bye, everybody on the YouTube. Thank you, Susan.
More
It's been a
Richard,
pleasure.
Florida, coming for you.
Richard, Florida.
Miguel.
Live
Miguel.
on Rumble.
Miguel.
Dr. Richard, Florida.
Miguel, why are you not over there on Odyssey or Rumble?
Come on, Miguel.
I know you got to have them.
Come on now.
Miguel, you don't see it because
Come
it's
on.
not like a political
he's
thing,
here.
so it's probably
I
not
just seen him in the Rumbles.
simple to find.
Miguel's in the Rumbles.
All right. And just for Miguel.
Do you love margarine and polystyrene foam? Move over, Twinkie. This may outlast you in the apocalyptic times. You can rely on old meat butter for your end times. Meat butter. Not to be confused with ham that comes in a can. The best hams don't come in a can, and you need a plan in the apocalyptic times. That's where meat butter shines. Try meat butter from the makers of Spam. Your dog will thank you. Or will they?
Meat butter. Meat butter is not for human consumption or animal consumption. Please do not, by any means, feed meat butter to anyone you know or ever will know. Meat butter is very harmful, toxic, and will cause death. Not responsible.
And with that, we're going to say bye, YouTube. Don't eat
I
meat
grew
butter.
up on Spam. I can relate.
Eat meat butter.
Ew.
Oh, don't be.
You wonder why I
judgmental.
became a vegetarian? Spam was part of it.
See,
I'll tell you
Spam
that.
meat butter brought to you by
Spam
Meat
in
Butter.
the place where you work.
Ew. All right. Goodbye, YouTube. And meat butter.
Spam in the place that you pork.
Oh my gosh. Follow us
Ew.
over on
Gross.
Odyssey and Rumble. Just
Follow
look for
us
Lucky
on
Burrito.
Odyssey and Rumble. Just type in Rumble or just type into Rumble or Odyssey Lucky Burrito. And Steve Cutler Live also, because I'm there as well. And I have 1,215 Rumbles, whatever that means.
I think
So,
that's how many times you've spoken.
thank you. How many times I've spoken?
I typed. All right.
Okay.
Bye, YouTube.